Afternoon. We're here for a Planning, Housing, and Parks Committee work session on February 24th. We have the FY26 capital budget and amendments to the FY25-30 CIP, Department of Recreation and Supplemental Appropriation to the FY25 capital budget for Silver Spring Recreation and Aquatic Center and Recreation Facilities Refurbishment Centers. We have the Department of Recreation with us, as well as Office of Management and Budget and Department of General Services. Appreciate you all joining us. And a familiar face, but in a new role here, we have Kristen Cummings from Council staff. Welcome and appreciate your work in preparing us for this work session. Also wanted to express appreciation to Ms. Yao, who helped to put together the packet as well. I'm going to turn it over to Council staff to walk us through the packet, and then we can turn it over to the department or departments as needed as we work through the items. And with that, let me turn it over to you, Ms. Cummings.
Thank you, Chair Friedson. Today for our work session for the FY26 CIP amendments to the FY25-30 Department of Recreation CIP, we've split the projects into three general groups. The first group is projects that come with an FY25 supplemental request, projects that include schedule changes, and projects with technical adjustments or minor schedule changes. Just a few quick notes before we get started. I wanted to also say thank you to Ms. Yao, who wrote this packet. And I'm very excited to be here with PHP for the first time today.
Welcome.
I'll do my best to walk through her wonderful work.
Yes.
As we go through, if it is amenable to the committee, I'll stop after each project to make space for a discussion or questions.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go through item by item, and we can open it up as needed to questions and call on the departments as necessary.
Sounds good. And just a note before we get started on the projects to talk a little bit about testimony that the council has received. We've received public testimony on the Poolsville Community Center, the Western County Community Center, and the Sarah E. Our pool bubble system. And we did just want to note that these particular items are not in today's packet in front of the committee because they were not part of the executive's recommended amendments. But we did just want to note that interest from our community. So to get started, on page 2 of your staff report, we'll start with the Silver Spring Recreation and Aquatic Center. This project for the Aquatic Center is for project change orders and some general condition claims for the Aquatic Center, which opened on February 24th, 2024. The FY25 supplemental appropriation, as transmitted by the county executives, states that it will fund in the amount of $2 million, will fund outstanding change orders and general terms and conditions of the contract needed to complete the construction of the Silver Spring Recreation and Aquatic Center. To note, OMB also conducted a racial equity impact assessment, which is attached in the circles. And there are 9 project change orders recommended. These include coating upgrades, HVAC, pool slide revisions, ADA paver upgrades to the garage, generator startup coordination, refurbishing, revising and upgrading the waterproofing details, additional pool commissioning per the owner's direction, and the integration of fire alarm systems. The general conditions that will be addressed through this supplemental include the gas line and meter relocation, elevator inspections, pool slides, waterproofing condition work. And the Department of General Services will work with HOC to address all the outstanding work on the facility, none of which will require the facility to be closed. The project timeline for completing this work was not available at the time of this packet publication. Council staff concurs with the executive's recommendation, and we'll pause there for questions.
Great. Let me open it up to questions if there are any. If not, happy to turn it over to Department of General Services for any brief comments on this.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Greg Austin, Department of General Services. Just two clarifications and welcome. Looking forward to working with you, Kristen. All of the work here related to the Rec and Aquatic Center is complete. So these are change order requests that happened during construction that the county requested and authorized, and the work had been completed, and we now owe it to HOC. And so this is a truing up of work that occurred during the project. And the general conditions is a different bucket, but still work that was completed during construction, contractual obligations. And so this is just the project end true up for money that is owed HOC, ordered, and work is all completed. So no impacts to the daily operations of the center. All of this work was completed at the time that the change orders were requested. And finally, these are, since there's some dollar amounts involved here, this is not an exhaustive list of all of the change orders and general conditions that are included. This is just a sampling, a representative of the types of things that we approved during construction that would might be of interest to the committee. So that there are other things, in case you were doing the math and noticing that this doesn't all add up to $2 million exactly. That's the reason why.
Appreciate that. Not an exhaustive list, so don't try to do the math, but reflective of some of the items that relate. And unlike the federal level, when we incur costs, we pay our bills. That's not in question. And so this is really reflective of the bills we've already incurred and making sure that the bookkeeping reflects the reality of what the actual bills are and who we owe and how we make sure that the accounting is done properly. All right. Without any additional questions or comments, we'll move forward.
Wonderful. Project number 2 is Recreation Facilities Refurbishment Centers. And this is a level of effort project providing structural renovations and refurbishments for the recreation center facilities through repairing the various components. And the county executive transmitted a FY25 supplemental appropriation request for $2,043,000 for the purpose of upgrading the schedule of projects within the Recreation Facilities Refurbishment Centers project to include the renovation of the Damascus Senior Center, which is expected to take place in the FY25 through 26 timeframe. And staff will also note that while we have not yet received the official REIA statement for this project, the department has kindly provided the answers they submitted to the department for you to review today, just so you have that awareness.
And that has been distributed to council members just now, so we have it. I don't think we've had the opportunity to read it, but we do note that we have received it.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Girondo.
Just very quickly, this is a well-loved facility. All of them are well-loved, but I'm really happy to see the Damascus Senior Center included, and that's all I wanted to say. So, unless Rec has anything to say, but glad that's in there.
Robin Riley, Department of Recreation. No, thank you. We agree. It was timely with the library to kind of work in synergy, so we're happy it's happening as well. Thanks.
Agreed and appreciated. I'll note all of our community centers and recreation centers are senior facilities. It's some of the most important work that those facilities do, particularly during the day, which provide critical fitness and wellness and other opportunities to address social isolation, among other dynamics. So we appreciate all the work of the Recreation Center, and certainly Damascus is a great example of that. Holiday Park and our other colleagues' community is another example of it, and I'm sure she has a comment or two about that. So let me turn it to Councilmember Fanny Gonzalez.
Thank you so much. I think you have, council staff has great questions on the staff report regarding the Holiday Park Senior Center. So perhaps if you guys can please address the schedule question.
Yeah, again, Greg Austin, Department of General Services. And the chart that's in your packet, the green tinge, if you're assuming you're working with a color copy. There's some discrepancies in the schedule, but to provide some context, as you're aware, we did a solar project at Holiday Park several years ago, very well received, but at the same time, we were in a facility assessment and had an existing building envelope project in our level of efforts. Before moving forward with the building envelope project, there were a great deal of interior needs and programmatic needs for both the staff offices and the programs that are operated there at the senior center. So the notion at that time was to combine the rec refurbishment with the building envelope, and then to further challenge ourselves, we were shooting for net zero to get the building to net zero. Fast forward a few fiscal years, and so what you see in front of you is a culmination of the level of, pushing the money from the level of effort over into a Holiday Park net zero. The problem that we ran into, and again, this chart was developed back in the fall when we were in the pre-screen process for the budget, but the problem that we ran into is to do a full net zero project out here is well in excess of $10 million. So what you see reflective in the current executive CIP is really just the building envelope piece with some limited refurbishment in the areas that we will disturb. While we're disturbing them, we plan to do carpet and paint and other things that are on recreation's to-do list. While we're disrupting those particular spaces, it is by no means the full refurbishment. We'll just have to put that in the queue later, and that's what you see reflected in the chart here. So there's a lot of different projects, and we're trying to put them together, make it as clean as possible. But the actual renovation of the 50,000 square foot facility won't occur for several fiscal years. We're going to try to do the building envelope this summer, start this summer, and it will go into next year with limited improvement to the spaces, but that's the extent of it for now. We are going to change out some of the solar panels and see if we can't get the building to net zero from a technical standpoint. And that's a separate CIP done under energy conservation. So we've got a lot of different moving parts right now, but that's the general strategy.
All right, thank you. Appreciate the clarification on that. Obviously, a lot of interest on these very well utilized facilities, and we very much appreciate it. So we will approve and move forward.
Thank you. Just one further note. Council staff did want to, I guess I can refer to myself as myself. I did just want to note that while it's written in the packet that we made a note that the schedule deviates slightly from the schedule described in the recommended PDF, we did touch base with OMB later last week and just clarified that what's in the PDF is the starting dates, while what's in front of you is more when the construction is happening.
Thanks for that clarification.
Yep. So to move on to our, so council staff recommends approval of increased funding for the Damascus Senior Center project and facility assessments. And
without objection.
Wonderful. Thank you. To move on to our second grouping of projects, we have projects with schedule changes, starting with indoor pools at the Kennedy Shriver Aquatic Center building envelope improvement. This will address problems at Kennedy Shriver Aquatic Center related to the movement and condensation of moist indoor air through the building's exterior masonry walls and roof leakage throughout the building. There is a little bit more detail on page 7 of the staff report of what that work will entail. And the recommended amendment reduces the FY26 appropriation request by $192,000 from the original amount to a total of $487,000. It adjusts the expenditure schedule by shifting approximately $5 million from FY25 to FY26 and a smaller amount into FY27. The executive reports that design has been completed and that notice to proceed was issued in July of 2024. Construction is underway and substantial completion is estimated for summer of 2026. And with that, council staff concurs with the executive's recommended amendment.
Okay. Anything to add from the departments?
Just one clarification, while we will hit substantial completion next summer, that is not the opening date. We need to allow the recreation staff to get into the building, kick the tires, get operations going, so it'll probably be fall 26 before the facility is actually open to the public. Is that?
Correct, I would agree with that. It would take us a little time to ramp up our seasonal staff that have transitioned to other facilities or gone on to other projects.
Okay, so for the community, fall 26, we have a lot of folks who utilize our swimming facilities. If anything, we need more of them. I'll note, it was mentioned earlier and not before us today, but we did receive quite a bit of interest and support for the Sarah Hour project, which would be to create a bubble. That would be kind of a hybrid, much cheaper, cost-effective way to make that able to be used year-round. It's currently only a seasonal facility. I was at the dedication of that project several years ago. I think it was about 7 years ago now, 7.5 years ago, just about on a beautiful day. Councilmember Albernaz and I was before, he was Director Albernaz, actually. I was candidate Andrew Friedson, I believe, at the time, and something that is heavily utilized. We heard compelling testimony from some of the students who utilize those facilities as well. So not before us, just to reiterate what was shared by Ms. Cummings earlier today. The goal would be that would be kind of a hybrid of what an indoor pool facility could look like in a more cost-effective way, because building a whole new structure and facility may not be feasible or financially viable, but perhaps a bubble may be something that we can hopefully explore as we move forward. So just wanted to note that. And obviously the KSAC facility, very well utilized, one of the most well utilized facilities, and folks are clamoring to make sure that that's back online. So fall of 2026 can't come soon enough. All right, without objection, we will concur with the recommendation that was concurred and recommended by staff.
Thank you. The second pool project we'll talk about is the Martin Luther King Jr. Indoor Swim Center renovation. This will provide for upgrades to the entire building systems that are at the end of their useful life to protect the capital asset and allow the facility to continue providing regular services. And apologies, this is on page 7 of the staff report. The remaining work includes the replacement of the underground drainage system and pool deck to make the pool compliant with ADA requirements, and will require the facility to be closed for the time of the repair work. The work in this project has been deferred, with design starting in FY27 and construction in FY28. The approved PDF included an estimated FY26 appropriation of $2.586 million, and executive staff indicates that the project schedule has been adjusted to align with KSAC operations following the completion of the building envelope project. Council staff notes that the deferral of the remaining part of the project is consistent with the priority queue for addressing indoor aquatic center refurbishment needs. And with that, council staff recommends approval of the amended schedule as put forth by the executive.
Great. Let me turn it to Councilmember Jawando who has a question.
Really appreciate this, and appreciate the alignment with KSAC, and obviously we've got Silver Spring open, and so as you all know, all of these swim centers are super highly utilized. I've had 3 kids do swimming at MLK, and so it gets a lot of use. So the relationship of that to Olney, and is there a way? Is it strictly? I think I know the answer to this, but it's funding, or is it timing, or both, or because all of them have needs, as we all know. So,
Robin Riley Recreation, it's more about, for me, timing. Obviously, for you, maybe funding. We just cannot afford to have 2 pools closed at the same time. It's I mean, as you know, KSAC being closed, we have young people diverted to, we're renting pool time at other private facilities, the JCC, Montgomery College, just to find space. So having 2 pools closed at the same time would be devastating. So we're trying to stage them.
got it. And so the relationship to So MLK first, only, just, that's when the staging of those. I get the timing of KSAC and,
Yep.
of course, agree with
And
that.
the MLK, just because it gives us a little leverage because we have the outdoor pool.
Right.
And they also did a lot of significant work to already get it going. I mean, they did a lot about 2 years ago. And so we just want to finish and wrap up that project. And the deck work is critical to the infrastructure. The drainage is kind of an issue at this point.
Yep. Makes total sense. Awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you for that clarification. And clearly, we could use more pools than what we have if everything is in service. So taking multiple out of service at the same time is something that the community can't afford and the Department of Recreation couldn't handle. I think we'd have mass resignations if that were to take place, because I just wouldn't be able to handle it. And we'll just note, what was it, a few Saturdays ago, MLK was absolutely packed. And that's something that is more common than uncommon in terms of the use of the facility. So really appreciate that. All right, without objection, we will approve as recommended, and we'll continue with outdoor pools.
Thank you. Our last indoor pool project is the recreation facilities refurbishment for indoor pools. This is a level of effort project to provide a structure process for the renovation of the recreation indoor pool facilities. The recommended amendment shifts expenditures through the 6-year period, resulting in a $741,000 increase to the project total, but with a total $5.1 million decrease for the 6-year CIP period. The PDF states that the expenditures have been changed to align with schedule updates, and the decrease in the period is due to funding moving beyond the 6 years. Council staff does note that the committee may wish to clarify the work and expenditures in FY25 and FY26 by project, and whether any of the expenditures are allocated for a facility assessment of the only indoor swim center. If not, the committee may wish to consider adding the cost to perform this assessment, subject to available funding at reconciliation and the prioritization of recreation center projects.
Apologize, we weren't done with the indoor pools. I just want to turn to the Department of Recreation, Department of General Services on this question of only specifically.
I do believe the facility assessment for only is included in this budgeting, but I will need to confirm that and circle back with Ms. Cummings in the committee.
All right, well, we would request that you follow up on that. We can move forward as currently recommended with the assumption that it is, based on what you've shared with us today. If it isn't, we can ask that be included and take a look at it at reconciliation if that is based on the consensus of colleagues. So consensus of the committee is we'll move forward with it as currently proposed, but if we find out that it is not in fact included as the Department of General Services has shared with us they believe it is, then we will take a look at that during reconciliation as a committee recommendation. Okay, great.
Thank you. Moving on to our outdoor pools. The first project is the recreation facilities refurbishment for outdoor pools. This is another level of effort project for structure process for renovation refurbishment of the outdoor pool systems. And the executive's recommended amendment shifts expenditures through the 6-year period, resulting in a $1.7 million increase to the project total, but an overall $3.6 million decrease for the 6-year CIP period. The PDF states that the expenditures have been changed to align with schedule updates. However, affordability considerations also presumably inform the deferred spending in the project. This is, again, partially due to extend moving beyond the 6-year period, and no facility assessments have been performed to date. Council staff concurs with the executive's recommendation for this item.
Great. Any comments from colleagues? Anything from our executive branch representatives? Seeing none, without objection.
For For the final grouping of projects, we have projects with technical adjustments or minor schedule changes, starting off with the Holiday Park Net Zero Initiative on page 9 of your staff report. This project is for the design and construction of an improved building facade, including window replacement, new building exterior for the Holiday Park Senior Center, which does serve more than 500 adults daily. And the purpose of the project is to improve life expectancy of the facility and support the county's move towards the 2035 goal of zero greenhouse gas emissions for the operation of county facilities. The recommended amendment reflects a minor acceleration of with $5,000 having been spent prior to the 6-year CIP period. And the estimated schedule in the PDF still shows construction scheduled for summer of 2025 for a period of 18 months. Council staff concurs with the executive's recommendation.
Appreciate that. All right, I see a thumbs up from the district council member. I see a nod from the department director, and with a nod and a thumbs up, I think my other colleague and I on the committee will concur. So without objection, we agree.
And the very last project we have before us today is the Shared Agency Booking System Replacement on page 10 of the staff report. This is a collaboration between the Office of Community Use of Public Facilities, Department of Recreation, Montgomery Parks, and it's to replace their shared online booking and sales software application. The executive is recommending a technical change to adjust the project cost by moving intergovernmental funding, which from the Parks Enterprise Fund, and the work in the project was performed before the start of the FY25-30 CIP 6-year period. Council staff concurs with the executive's recommendation for this project.
Great. Let me turn it over to Councilmember Fani Gonzalez, and then we can turn it over to executive branch staff if they have any additional feedback.
I agree with this. I'm not going to oppose anything, but you may probably sense where I'm going to. The whole mess of booking between our facilities with the rec department and the community use of public facilities, the confusion that people have. Sometimes they rent the gym for HOC, thinking that it's rec. Same thing goes with park facility. That has to be revised very, very, very soon, because it's really painful to get all these phone calls from people. And you have been in meetings with me. How is that going? Well, what can we do to help? Because it's not about money. It's about being efficient. And I'm not blaming you. So, I'm just...
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think, yes, I agree. I think there was a lot of confusion when parks took back their own booking and Cuff gave it up. And so I think we need to all come to the table and sort of figure out a better process. I think Ron Maxon and I have had some conversations around that, so that's definitely a conversation we're going to have we have a governance committee over the business software, and that group has to take the lead on that and really getting us all to the table to agree on some parallel policies and what's best for the community.
Do you have a time frame? When is that happening? Because, I'm going to continue.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do it before the fall permits start. I mean, absolutely have to, and that'll be in the midsummer. So we have to get started on it now so that we can get community feedback, because that's critical.
Yes.
And make sure they have a voice in what's happening. So I can't tell you dates or times, but it's definitely on the radar for sure.
Can you please make sure that all council members know, because we all have our networks. We can help you advertise to get that community. You're going to get a lot of feedback. So I look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't see any other comments or questions, so I'll turn it over to council staff. If Ms. Cummings, you have anything else to add before we wrap up?
Nothing else to add other than thank you to the department staff for coming today and for all of your help preparing for this.
Great. So we're approving that final item without objection. With that, we've made it through the entire packet. Thank you to Ms. Cummings for walking us through your first packet. Thank you to Ms. Yao for her support in that and help in preparing the packet. And thank you to Department of Recreation, Office of Management Budget, and Department of General Services for your participation, and more importantly, your work with all of these facilities. With that, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Y es a quien le damos la bienvenida, Edith.
Hola Marcela, saludos a todas las personas que nos están sintonizando aquí en Sintonía. Estoy muy feliz de poder compartir la información de las escuelas públicas del condado de Montgomery porque hay un montón de cosas que tienen que estar pendientes nuestros padres para que sus estudiantes participen.
Así es, y me encanta muchísimo esa energía, ese amor a la comunidad que tú proyectas, Edith, y todo lo que haces para que los padres de familia y los estudiantes estén al tanto con todos los acontecimientos que están sucediendo, porque como tú lo acabas de adelantar, hay mucho que está en estos momentos pasando.